Hey y'all, this is Coach Johnson with Growing Money Game. And I just got off the phone with one of my clients and we were talking about her leaving her job and wanting to be a stay-at-home mom / entrepreneur. And of course, I'm like, that's something that I can help you out with. But it also made me realize, although I've shared some of my journey with you guys, I haven't told you guys the steps that are necessary, the things that you should do in order to be able to successfully walk away from your job. And this is helpful whether you are looking to be an entrepreneur or maybe just a stay-at-home parent or even just take a break and get mental clarity. So go ahead and stay with me and we'll talk about the steps. There's 4 main things that you really need to do in order to be able to be successful at this transition. So back in 2020 is when I left corporate. After being in the financial industry at that time for a little over 16 years, I was just done. I needed a mental break. I also realized that all of the work that I'm putting in for corporate is paying off dividends for them, but it's doing absolutely nothing for me. I was tired of not being promoted like I wanted to be promoted. I was tired of not getting the raises that I wanted, and it was always, a 2% raise, a 3% raise, and that's just not enough. And so for me, I was like, you know what, I need to do something else. Mentally, this is taking its toll, and I'm just done. All right. So the first thing that I did, and the first thing that you need to do, is evaluate your finances to see 2 things. Number 1, what can you cut back on or what you need to cut back on? And number 2, what debt can you eliminate? So for me, I made sure to pay off all my credit cards and I paid off my vehicle. I didn't have student loans, so I didn't have to worry about that. The only debt that I still carried is my house note, my mortgage. So what debt can you eliminate? And you want to make sure that you eliminate as much debt as possible because that's what's going to make number 4 work for you. So remember, we got 4 steps. So the first thing that you want to do is evaluate your finances, see where you can cut back. The things that I eliminated and cut back was cable. I'm like, I don't watch TV enough, and between Hulu or Netflix or the streaming services, I could save myself over $60 a month because the cable bill was like $80 or $90. And if I got 2 streaming services, those were like $10 a piece or $15 a piece, depending upon, the service that I had. So that was huge. Cutting back where I could cut back on. I stopped getting my nails done because I was like, okay, I was doing that for corporate appearances to make sure that I was prim and proper and put together. But once I knew that I was going to walk away, I stopped. I saved money there. I'm not getting my nails done anymore. And in fact, I actually bought the kit to do my own nails, just the little shellac at home, my own thing. Not a big deal, right? But that was important to me to eliminate those things. So that way that was less money coming out of pocket for me. The next thing, number 2, the second thing that you need to do is see how much money you have to fall back on. Do you have a savings account? Do you have a 401k? Do you have money in investments? Anything like that you can draw from to live off of while you're going through this transition. So for me, I realized that I had enough in the bank that I could walk away and I would be good for about 6 or 7 months before I just had to have some kind of income coming in. And so that gave me an idea of how long I had to get my stuff together. So for me, I was like, okay, I'm going to take 3 months and see if I can't get my business going off the ground. I also had some other money that was coming in. So that was a blessing. I sold my food truck. For those of you that know, I owned a food truck. I sold the food truck, and so I was receiving monthly payments on that food truck, and I was able to pay what I need to pay with that, and then I only had to, supplement a little bit of income, as I needed to. So number 2 was to evaluate how much money you had to fall back on and see how long you would be able to sustain with that before you had to have more money coming in. Does that part make sense? The third thing that I did and that you have to do, this one is so important because this is where a lot of people get caught up at. You need to look at why you're at your current job and you need to replace that. So most people are at a job because of the pay, the benefits, and probably like the flexibility if your job provides flexibility. So the first thing before you replace your pay, the first thing that you need to replace are the benefits. So if you're there and you know that you need health insurance, you need to see how much does health insurance cost me on my own outside of the company? How much does life insurance cost me? My medical, dental, vision, any of that stuff that you get from your job, you need to replace that. So call your local agent and see how much it's going to be to replace those policies. And then before you walk away, set those policies in place. Make sure you've got medical, dental, vision. Make sure that you have those things in place. Another thing, and this is a bonus, is if you are receiving retirement benefits from your job, then you need to set yourself up with a way to successfully retire. I'm sorry, I realized that this was crooked and it's bothering me. There we go. So the next thing that you need to replace is your retirement benefits. You need to set yourself up to change over your 401k to probably an individual retirement account, or an IRA is what they call it. So you need to replace that way of growing your money. So right now within the 401k, most of the time you have an employee match. So if you put in X amount of dollars, they'll put in X amount of dollars with you. Well, if you're going to be working for yourself, you probably won't have that. So you need to set up an account that's going to grow the money for you, where you can put that money to work. So that's just a little bonus thing that a lot of people don't think about when walking away. And then the fourth thing and the final thing is replacing that income. So whether that's going to be your side hustle, whether that's going to be your main business, or however, maybe you take a part-time job as opposed to going full-time. Whatever that looks like for you, you need to do that. Replace that income. So for me, I started doing one-on-one coaching, and then I realized hey, in addition to the one-on-one coaching, I could do group coaching and teach classes and things like that. And then it was okay, well, I can also do a planner. So I created a planner that's available on Amazon. It's the Growing Money Game Planner. And, I just started to grow these things, and those brought in income for me to help support myself. Now, for those of you who have been following me since 2020, you know that I got thrown the surprise of a lifetime. In 2021, I found out that at the age of 40, I was pregnant. Now, I was told my entire life that I would not be able to have kids. And so, of course, I'm living my best life, not thinking, and boop, life throws a monkey wrench. So all of the plans that I had in place, I needed to adjust those. So I know we said 4 things, but this is a bonus. The fifth, or the bonus to the bonus that you need, is you have to be flexible with your plan, because life does happen. Things change, and you have to be able to roll with those things. And, September of 2021, I gave birth to my daughter. And that changed life for me tremendously. So then not only did I have to have insurance for me, I had to have insurance for her. And not only did I have to have enough money for me to live, but I had to get diapers and wipes and clothes and all the things that come with that. So I had to be flexible, and I had to make some changes. During the first few months of her life, I couldn't do one-on-one coaching. I was exhausted. And heck, the last couple months of my pregnancy, I had to change the way that I did things and the way that I got income coming in, because I was just exhausted. And my clients were so supportive, and I really appreciate you guys for working with me. And at one point, I stopped taking new clients, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to focus on, I'm going to let the money that's coming in come in, but I want to focus on being a mom and figuring out what life looks like for me and her. So I did that. And I'm definitely glad. I'm grateful for her. She's amazing. But I thought about for a small second, like, okay, well, maybe I need to go back to corporate so that way I have the benefits and things like that. But I realized for me that that's just not what I wanted to do. So I figured out a way to make it work, to still be her mom and still be an entrepreneur. So here it is, 2022, and I'm excited. You know, I don't have it all figured out, but we are rolling through this thing of life together, and it's been a transition, but because I've already had that plan in place, it's just been a matter of making adjustments to that plan. Without that plan, I don't know what I would do. I'd probably just be like, you know what, forget it. I'm just going to go back to corporate, because to be truthful, it would be easier in a lot of ways. You know, I would just go to work, get paid, come home, be her mom, rinse, repeat, right? But for me, being here with her, she's now 8 months, and being able to spend these last 8 months and watching her grow has been really important to me. So this is something that I pray continues to happen. I'm looking at ways to continue my income and, you know, letting life happen. But that's the plan that's my journey. That's what I had to do in order to be successful and walk away from corporate. I think had I gotten pregnant the year before, I probably wouldn't have walked away. So I'm glad that I was already gone, because I probably would have changed my mind and done something different. But now that I'm here in this, I love it, you know? And I like the flexibility that I have. I like where life is for us. So anyway, I don't want to ramble, because I could talk about her and us and all that stuff all the time. But just to recap, the 4 things and 2 bonus things that you need to do is you need to evaluate your finances, see where you can eliminate costs and eliminate debt as much as you can before you walk away. Then you need to look at how much you have and how long that money will last you before you actually have to have more money coming in, and make a plan for that. The third thing that you need to do is see why you are at your job. All of those benefits and things that you have, you need to replace them. So your medical, dental, vision, all that you need to replace. And then that bonus one is your 401k, a way for your money to make money, or your retirement savings. You need to replace that as well. The fourth thing that you need to do is replace your income. So side hustle, part-time job, your entrepreneurship money, whatever you're going to be doing. And then the last bonus to the bonus is that you need to be flexible with your plan. Be forgiving, because life is going to happen, you know, whether we are prepared for it or not. So the best thing you can do is have a plan, work the plan, but don't be afraid to change the plan as your life grows, as things elevate, and just make sure that you're doing what works best for you in that moment. All right. So this is Coach Johnson again with Growing Money Game. If you found this to be completely helpful, do me a favor, just like and share the video. I appreciate that. Y'all know I'm just grateful for my clients that I have and the referrals that they give. So share this video with someone that is potentially looking to walk away from their job for whatever their reason is. All right. This is Coach Johnson with Growing Money Game. You can find us on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram, Coach_Johnson. You can find me on TikTok at Coach Johnson. And Coach is with a K, Koach, Johnson. All right, you guys have a great one. Bye-bye.